Our planet is choking, rivers choked with toxins, skies blackened by relentless fossil fuel burning. Every year, 8 million tons of CO2 poison our air, pushing land to the shores. But what if a century ago, a pioneer had harnessed the clean power of the sun to study us? The idea could have saved the action before the start. Imagine standing in the scorching Egyptian desert in 1913, surrounded by British elites sipping champagne, as a machine, running on nothing but sunlight, roars to life, pumping 6,000 gallons of water per minute from the Nile. Sounds like science fiction, right? Wrong. This was the world of Frank Shuman, a man who dared to tame the sun when coal was king. So why don't we all know his name? I'm Dr. Emily Harper, a scientist with 15 years of digging into the dusty corners of innovation history. And today I'm taking you on a journey to uncover the story of Frank Shuman, the forgotten pioneer who built the world's first solar power plant over a century ago. On Obscure Minds, we shine a light on the unsung heroes of science, and Shuman's tale is one of brilliance, ambition, and a dream buried by the tides of history. Picture this, a world where solar energy could have powered cities decades before the oil boom. Intrigued? Let's embark on this saga, packed with drama, ingenuity, and a twist that'll leave you rethinking our energy past. As we dive into Shuman's world, you'll see a spark of genius that began long before that Egyptian triumph. A spark that ignited in the humblest of places. Born in Brooklyn in 1862, Frank Shuman wasn't your typical scientist. No Ivy League degrees, no silver spoon, just a burning curiosity and hands that couldn't stop building. At 18, he skipped college to work as a chemist in a West Virginia dye factory, where he learned to think like a problem solver. By 1891, he was in Philadelphia, working with his uncle at Tacony Iron and Metal Works. His first big win? Devising a way to electroplate the massive William Penn statue atop City Hall with protective aluminum, a feat that demanded both chemical savvy and engineering grit. But Shuman's real breakthrough came in 1892 with wire safety glass, a game-changer for Victorian skylights and greenhouses. Imagine inventing something so practical it's still in use today. His patents, 64 in total, ranged from railroad signals to liquid oxygen for submarines, painting a picture of a man who saw problems as puzzles. He was like a 19th century MacGyver. Shuman's pride in supporting his family through his inventions fueled his relentless drive, and in a 1907 letter to a local judge, he wrote, "I'm chasing the sun's power for the eternal welfare of humanity." That obsession was already taking root, a seed that would soon sprout into something extraordinary. As Shuman's mind churned with ideas, his focus turned to the sun itself, a source of energy as old as time, yet untapped for industrial work. In 1897, he set up a curious contraption by a pond in Tacony, a 1-foot square box filled with ether, black pipes inside, and reflectors to catch the sun's rays. When it powered a tiny steam engine, it ran non-stop on sunny days for over 2 years. This wasn't just a toy, it was proof the sun could do real work. The science was clever. Ether's low boiling point, 34.6 degrees Celsius, compared to water's 100 degrees Celsius, made it ideal for low-heat steam production. By 1906, Shuman was ready to scale up. In his Tacony compound, he built insulated hot boxes with semi-convex reflectors on swivels to track the sun. He placed water in a vacuum to lower its boiling point, attaching a low-pressure steam engine, a major leap. It was like upgrading from a bicycle to a motorcycle. A 1911 Scientific American article praised his pioneer solar plant, and Shuman leaned into the spotlight, running a toy train on solar vapor to woo investors. With each experiment, he was inching closer to a dream that seemed impossible, a world powered by sunlight. And that dream was about to take him far from Philadelphia, to the sun-soaked sands of Egypt. The year was 1910, and Shuman faced a problem. Philadelphia's cloudy skies and coal smog weren't ideal for solar. But Egypt, a British colony with endless sun and cotton fields desperate for irrigation, was the perfect stage. Backed by British investors, Shuman arrived in Maadi in 1912 to build a plant that would change history. This was his moonshot. His design was a marvel, 5 200-foot-long parabolic troughs lined with mirrors to focus sunlight onto cast-iron boilers. Water heated to 93 degrees Celsius turned to low-pressure steam, driving a 75-horsepower engine that pumped 6,000 gallons of water per minute from the Nile. Shuman's innovations, like dual-pane absorption plates with a 1-inch air gap for insulation, were ingenious. It's like double-glazing your windows to trap heat. The grand opening in June 1913 was a spectacle. Picture lords and ladies in pith helmets, marveling as water gushed into the desert. Shuman declared in Scientific American, "We have proved the commercial profit of sun power." But even as champagne glasses clinked, shadows loomed. Whispers of war and the discovery of cheap oil threatened to dim his shining moment. The triumph in Maadi wasn't just a local victory, it sent ripples across the globe. Lord Kitchener, Britain's colonial heavyweight, offered Shuman a 30,000-acre plantation in Sudan to build a bigger plant. The German government, impressed by their ambassador's visit, pledged $200,000, about $6 million today, for a solar system in German-controlled Africa. Shuman was basically the rock star of renewable energy. His plant's economics were compelling. Coal cost $10 per ton in Egypt, while Shuman's fuel was free. Investors were hooked, and Shuman's vision grew wilder. He sketched a 20,000-square-mile solar plant in the Sahara, claiming it could generate 270 million horsepower, equal to all fuel burned globally in 1909. That's like covering Texas with mirrors. But his reliance on British and German funding tied him to colonial powers, raising ethical questions about Egypt's exploited cotton workers. Just as Shuman's star reached its zenith, a storm was brewing, one that would test his dream like never before. In 1914, World War I erupted, and Shuman's empire crumbled. His Maadi plant was dismantled for scrap to fuel Britain's war machine. It's like watching your life's work turned into bullets. His engineers scattered, and his German deal collapsed as nations turned inward. The 1920s brought cheap oil from Iraq and Iran, making solar seem obsolete. Oil prices plummeted while coal remained king, crushing Shuman's economic case. In 1916, he wrote, "Sun power is now a fact, but mankind is not yet ready." His health declined, and in 1918, at 56, he died of a heart attack in Tacony, his grand home now a shadow of its former buzz. Shuman's frustration and fading hope linger in imagined diary entries where he grapples with a world that turned away from his vision. A photo of his Tacony lab, now an apartment building, captures the bittersweet end of an era. Yet even in this darkness, a question lingers. Was Shuman's vision truly dead, or merely waiting for the right moment to rise again? The answer came decades later, proving Shuman's dream was never truly extinguished. In the 1970s, the oil crisis sparked renewed interest in solar thermal energy, and engineers dusted off Shuman's designs. It's like finding a blueprint for a time machine. Modern concentrated solar power, CSP plants, like California's Ivanpah, owe a debt to his parabolic troughs. Today's CSP systems use mirrors to focus sunlight, heating molten salt to drive turbines, and Shuman's dual-pane insulation and low-pressure turbines echo in their designs. Global CSP capacity grew from 2 gigawatts in 2010 to 6 gigawatts in 2023, a testament to his foresight. In a surprising twist, Swiss artists Christina Hemauer and Roman Keller recreated Shuman's plant for the 2008 Cairo Biennial, painting his quote, "The human race must utilize sun power or revert to barbarism," on a Maadi wall. His words are literally etched into history. Egypt's BenbanSolarPark, one of the world's largest, stands as a modern nod to Shuman's vision, carrying his legacy into the 21st century. Frank Shuman wasn't just an inventor, he was a prophet who saw a world powered by the sun when others clung to coal. His 1913 plant wasn't a fluke, it was a glimpse of what could have been. What if we'd listened to him? As a scientist, I've spent years chasing breakthroughs, but Shuman's courage to dream big keeps me going. In 2019, his Tacony home was added to Philadelphia's historic register, a quiet monument to his legacy. The next big idea might be in a garage right now. Will we listen? If Shuman's story moved you, hit that like button, share this video, and subscribe to Obscure Minds. Let's keep uncovering the geniuses history forgot. Together, we can light up the past and maybe the future.